Again this morning with the man now at the head of Operation Metro Serve in Minnesota. He spoke about the ongoing immigration crackdown, and he says things will be changing. Now, this comes as tensions remain high in Minneapolis after the deadly shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. The White House border czar Tom Homan, he's now on the ground here in Minnesota after outrage grew across the country after the shootings. Our Frankie McLister joining us live now from the Whipple building, where Homan just spoke to reporters about an hour ago. Frankie.
Yeah, hi there, Heather. We were inside the building right behind us there. Now, Homan said that he acknowledged that everything here, what he says, hasn't been done perfectly, and he will remain here on the ground in the state of Minnesota until what he says the problem has been fixed. Now, he also added that yesterday he had meetings with state and local leaders, including Governor Walz and also Mayor Jacob Frey, adding that they didn't agree on everything, but he said you can't fix problems without discussions. Now, Homan said that he didn't come here for photo ops and said that the changes in federal strategy here doesn't mean that they're not surrendering the president's immigration enforcement.
We will conduct targeted enforcement operations. Targeted. What we've done for decades. When we hit the streets, we know exactly who we're looking for. Good idea where we may find them. You have a criminal history, you have their immigration history, a lot of information about this person that we get from numerous databases out there. Targeted, strategic enforcement operations. I don't want to see anybody die. Not officers, not members of the community, and not the targets of our operations.
Now, targeted is a big change in strategy right there. So that's new news for you right there. Another thing in strategy changes, he said that they will be better at coordinating with jails to pick people up as they are released. And the press did ask how many agents remain in the state, and he didn't clarify. Guys?
No, he didn't. And Frankie, I think it was interesting, though. He said there is a plan in place to reduce the number of agents that are here right now, but he says that won't happen until cooperation comes from the locals in terms of access to jails, in terms of what he's calling dialing down the rhetoric.
Exactly, and that's a good point you bring up right there. He also said, you bring up locals. He suggested that he is all for First Amendment rights, the right to protest and whatnot, but he suggested if you're going to do so, he actually said to go to Congress and not stand outside of the building that we are at right now.
Right. It sounded like he said if you're continuing to see these protests and what he says are assaults on officers, then the officers will stay. Another question I had for you, Frankie, was he was asked about the investigation. He was asked about the investigation into Alex Preddy, and he declined to comment.
He did decline to comment. He said that he basically, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe I read this from what he said on social media at some point as well, but he wants to see the whole investigation as a whole, and just said that he simply didn't want to talk about any of the shootings that happened. But he did say that him and the president both do not want to see anybody else dead.
Right. He said he does have a personal opinion, but that he doesn't want to share that right now, and wants the investigations to play out there, which is different from what we've heard from the administration over the past week. All right, Frankie, thank you. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey is headed to Washington, D.C. today to attend the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Now, in a statement, the mayor said he will urge the end of what he calls unlawful ICE operations in Minneapolis. Mayor Frey says he's going to Washington to, quote, make the case for ending this strategy and replacing it with approaches that build trust, improve safety, and put our residents first.
As concerns over the federal crackdown continue, we've got an update on the lawsuit that local leaders hope will temporarily block Operation Metro Surge. Minnesota, Minneapolis, and St. Paul filed a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security. Last night, the Justice Department filed additional information, asked for the U.S. District Judge. The DOJ argued any restraining order on that operation would be unprecedented and said that the argument that the surge violates the 10th Amendment, which basically talks about the division of power between state and federal government, is unlikely to succeed. We're going to let you know when there is a decision. This morning, we're learning about new video of Alex Preddy taken just days before his death. The independent organization called The News Movement was actually in town. They were shooting a documentary on all this ICE activity in Minneapolis. That's when they say they captured this incident that you're about to see. It was near 36th Street and Park Avenue, also in South Minneapolis.
News Movement then says it worked with the BBC, who used facial recognition technology to match Preddy's identity. They say it's matched with a 97% degree of accuracy. That's when our CBS News national confirmed team took a look at it as well. Now here's the video Susan Elizabeth was referencing. This happened days before the shooting. Here you can see Alex Preddy right there in the middle of the screen, walking towards an SUV, this SUV filled with agents. He's shouting expletives there. You can see him spitting and kicking their taillight. Well, and seconds later, multiple federal agents jump out. They take him down. Chemical irritants deployed at this point. Preddy able to break free from that hold, but you can see the gun there on his hip. A representative for the Preddy family says they knew about this incident and that Preddy sustained injuries in it. The attorney for the Preddy family said, in quote, "Nothing that happened a full week before could have possibly justified Alex's killing at the hands of ICE on January 24th. Now, Homeland Security did confirm on Wednesday that 2 agents who opened fire were placed on leave. DHS also says they are reviewing the video as part of their investigation. A moving memorial made up of nurses honored the life of Alex Preddy.
Ashley Grams was there in South Minneapolis as mourners filled the streets.
The memorial on this block in South Minneapolis flows out into the street, the number of flowers, of tributes increasing. Wednesday night, the number of mourners growing too.
It says community and kindness and love.
The people filling the street gathered to honor Alex Preddy. The 37-year-old American citizen was killed on Saturday by U.S. Border Patrol agents.
We worked together on the 3rd floor before he went to ICU.
Alex Tackett says she worked with Preddy at the Minneapolis VA a few years ago.
No matter you a patient, family, or a coworker, he was always generous, went above and beyond for everybody, very kind.
Many in the crowd healthcare workers, but the loss of Preddy is felt beyond this neighborhood. The nation's largest nurses union coordinating vigils in over a dozen states across the country. Some also gathering to honor his life in Washington, D.C. at VA headquarters.
I wasn't expecting to speak, but at some point you have to stand up and say, enough.
It's a sentiment many have expressed in Minnesota, asking for an end to the federal immigration crackdown.
Everyone is feeling extremely sad about what's happening. This is surreal. It's not real. This has got to end.
But for Tackett, it's about speaking up for the man she worked alongside.
He was a good human, and we should open our eyes and not make assumptions.
Ashley Grams, WCCO News.
Now, anti-ICE protesters in Texas are demanding the release of a boy and his father who were taken from Columbia Heights. On Wednesday, 2 U.S. representatives met with 5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father. This was during a tour of the Dilley Center, which houses immigrant families. We do have a photo that was taken by Representative Joaquin Castro during that meeting. The congressman says that Liam's father told him his son is depressed and he's not eating well. He's also been asking to go home.
That he's been asking about his family, his mom, and his classmates, and saying that he wants to go be back in school with his classmates. He's asked about his backpack and his cap that he was wearing.
Castro is among a group of Democrats who are pushing for the release of Liam and other children like him who are currently being detained. A judge ruled Tuesday that Liam and his father could not be deported yet.
Happening today, humanitarian nonprofit Alight is asking for people to help brighten the lives of refugee children here in Minnesota. Many local refugee families are fearful, of course, of detainment by ICE, and so they're just staying home. Today's event is a toy drive for kids who are living through uncertainty, offering them moments of play and a healthy distraction from the difficult time. You can donate toys today at the Alight Minneapolis Hub that's on Quincy Street from 9, so it already started, from now until noon. In the wake of increased immigration enforcement in Minnesota, nearly 100 Twin Cities area food shelves are coming together calling for an end to this surge. In a letter released on Wednesday, organizations like Second Harvest Heartland, 360 Communities, and more are speaking out about ICE. They say that Operation Metro Surge has brought chaos and violence to the communities that they serve, and many are scared now to leave their homes. The letter detailed how these organizations have seen federal agents follow volunteers while they were making food deliveries, wait in food shelf parking lots, and in one case, detain a volunteer.
The fear and anxiety that we hear from neighbors and from our food shelf partners has been real and increasing and growing. And so people are looking for safe ways to access food. And we know that that's been difficult right now.
Over at Second Harvest Heartland, volunteers have been busy packing emergency boxes of food. They are hoping to try and figure out a way to help families out.
There is a local cafe that has a new name and a new mission. They're offering free meals until ICE leaves the city. It's called Modern Times Cafe. It's in Minneapolis. It has updated its name to the Postmodern Times Cafe. South Minneapolis Staple is drawing a line saying they're offering free meals. It's their way of making a statement, so anyone who needs a free meal can get one each day until ICE leaves.
We just started offering anything in the restaurant for free. So part of this is a strike against contributing to federal and state taxes while we're in an unsafe environment where our neighbors and citizens are not being protected. They're getting gunned down and murdered in the street blocks away from here.
Employees are now volunteers working for tips to keep the community hub open.
A partial federal government shutdown looms. There are less than 48 hours left for lawmakers to reach a deal. Senate Democrats are vowing not to fund the Department of Homeland Security unless ICE reforms and puts in place some of those reforms. Both of Minnesota's senators are speaking up in favor.
We need to start over with the Department of Homeland Security. I think it should be ripped down to the studs and that we should start over.
It's time for those ICE agents to come home. There must be new leadership in the Department of Homeland Security now. And there must be major reforms to these agencies before this Congress should approve another cent.
Some lawmakers are suggesting a separate vote and a separate debate when it comes to that DHS funding. The other bills are bipartisan and could be passed by the deadline. Stay with WCCO for continuing coverage of the debate in Washington and the federal crackdown right here in Minnesota.